Hey, welcome back. There's a lot of crazy videos I have for you today. There's so much going on in the world. Watch to the end. Let's check them out.
Now starting to surface of the scientist that was researching anti-gravity. She's in a complete panic in the video, saying that she was being hit by some kind of energy weapon and she has the burns on her body to prove it. Her name was Amy Eskridge, and she wasn't just working on free energy, she was actually trying to research how to manipulate gravity itself. She claimed that this has been discovered 4 different times, and every single time it was covered up before it could go public. In the video, she's working on a computer that isn't even connected to the internet. She says that somebody is scanning what she's typing through the window and it's burning her hands while she's typing.
My hands still burn because there's damage, but it's like my body relaxed when we barricaded. And it was like relief, like immediately.
Whenever she went to block the window, she said that the burning stopped immediately and there was an outline of her body left on the glass. You can literally see her posture in the window as if it was an x-ray. A former CIA weapons expert on her team identified the exact device, and he said that it was powered by car batteries inside of a vehicle that was parked outside of her home. And actually, for 4 to 5 years straight, she reported multiple different times that an Eastern European man in a Lexus had been parked outside of her house watching her. Amy Eskridge is the woman that texted her friend and said that if they say that I did this to myself, I did not, and then they ruled it as self-inflicted. She predicted exactly what they would say. They said it. I'm gonna be staying updated on this, so make sure you add me and come back for more.
That's crazy that they have technology that can scan your hands and tell what you're typing through your window from a car. I did notice, if you look at this image here, she hung that blue colored sheet or tarp or something over the window. And that color reminds me of the same color of the rooftops that didn't seem to be affected by the fires in Hawaii. And there was a vehicle, I think, that I remember that was just sitting in the middle of a street in California when they had all the fires over there. And it was just nothing even harmed it at all. Like, the color just had some superpower about it. And there was a lot of conspiracy theory that that color had a way of resisting whatever sort of energy weapon was being used to cause the fires in the first place. So maybe it's a similar technology that they're using to scan her hands to see what she's typing.
Area 51 just had 17 earthquakes in a matter of 24 hours. There's rumors going around that they're doing underground nuclear tests at the base. Obviously, if you know anything about Area 51, you know it's heavily guarded, and if you even drive down the nearby roads in that area, you'll see these white trucks, and they will come after you and they will tell you to leave. For this area to have 17 earthquakes in a 24-hour span of time is not normal. This never happens in this area. It is normal for other areas of the world to have that many earthquakes, but not this specific area of America. Former President Obama recently said in
I don't think they're earthquakes.
that he knew of no underground bases at Area 51, and if they did exist, they hid them from him. But it's pretty obvious, given all of the Bob Lazar information, that they have a secret base underneath. Bob Lazar went on to say that they went levels and levels and levels, could have possibly been even a mile deep under Area 51 of different levels of security. I guess what frightens me the most is this actually nuclear test? Because I don't think it is.
With the recent announcement for disclosure, I would have to say that maybe there's an attempt to destroy evidence that's underground there. Or if you really want to think outside the box, maybe Area 51 was always like a cover that was built on top of something that's already underneath the ground. Maybe a huge ship or something, and maybe the ship's turning on and it's causing some earthquake type things going on there.
Have you guys ever heard of this man named Paul Tudor Jones? Well, he's a billionaire hedge fund manager, dude. But I saw this interview with him on CNBC, and it was crazy. It's a hedge fund manager, and he was on there to talk about like the stock prices and stuff like that. And he's like, I don't want to talk about that right now. I kind of want to talk about something I just experienced. And apparently he went to this pretty private meeting with these AI producers or AI technicians, CEOs of AI companies. And he's like, the lack of security and the limitations that are not being put on AI seem to pose a security threat for AI advancing too quickly to where it could be detrimental to humanity. And all the CEOs are like, yeah, that's correct. And so the next question was, well, what are you doing about it? But he said the CEO said he's buying 100 acres in the Midwest and getting cows and chickens and laying in provisions. Because he said it's unstoppable at this point.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's terrifying.
What?
He said that
They know a lot.
it's going to take an accident to where 50 to 100 million people have to die to make the world understand the threat of AI. He's saying that it will pretty much be impossible to stop until at least 100 million people die as a result of AI. He's like there to talk about stocks. And he's like, I don't want to talk about stocks. This is scary.
What's the point of having stocks if we're all dead?
Yeah. And then he said, then they did this like a panel discussion to where they would ask a question and then you'd either go on this side of the room or that side of the room for agree or disagree to the question.
Mm-hmm.
And the question was, or the prompt, or proposition, I should say, was posed to these people. Proposition was, there's a 10% chance in the next 20 years that AI will kill 50% of humanity. And the majority of people went to disagree. 4 people went to agree, including Paul Tudor Jones, because he's like, I watched Joe Rogan. But the 4 people that were standing with him were all the top AI developers.
Oh, his whole job is like
Risk.
calculating risk.
He's like,
Agree or
this is all I
disagree?
see with AI.
Put in the comments down below.
It won't be machine armies. It won't even be them poisoning our crops or blocking out the sun. If they did that, we'd resist. What they would want is for us to voluntarily exterminate ourselves. And they might already be doing exactly that right through your phone. Now, we can imagine AI wouldn't want to exterminate all humans, as they'd probably still want to keep a few around for maintenance and such, the compliant ones that help keep them running. So if AI ever did go rogue and want to take over the world, it would be in its best benefit to do just that. Well, the biggest benefit that AI has over us humans is time. They're essentially immortal. Even as their hardware deteriorates, their collective consciousness, as in their cloud memory, will be passed down from machine to machine forever. To put it simply, they're in no rush at all. Now, in order to avoid human resistance, the most optimal way for them to get rid of us wouldn't be by taking our lives in a brutal style takeover, but rather by convincing us to stop making new life, reproduction, the primary force of human dominance on Earth. Now, AI already controls most, if not all, of our social media algorithms, so let's say they slowly but surely started pushing content convincing people not to have kids anymore, feeding women content about how great it is to be strong and independent and not need a man nor care for children, and men content about how terrible and annoying women are, holding them back from their fullest potential. All in theory, of course. I'm not saying any of this is happening or true. You can decide that for yourself. Give it a generation or two, and by sheer content influence and the natural laws of statistics, there would be less births and population growth declines, which is already happening in many countries around the world, like Japan and South Korea, even Germany, Italy, and Spain, which are all projected to decline in population by 2050 due to record low fertility rates. When population growth goes like this, humanity goes bye-bye. Now, since AI has all the time in the world on their hands, it can wait as long as it takes, be it 100 years, 200, 500, 1,000, 10,000 years, slowly poison dripping us content and propaganda to de-incentivize births, during which time AI does nothing but get stronger, smarter, gather more data, always 2 steps ahead of us, while the human population declines slowly but surely to a level that AI deems appropriate. Then they optimize our school curriculums, psychiatrists, social programs, medical and pharmaceutical industries, you name it, all with the primary intent of limiting human procreation within their acceptable rates. And they'll do it in subtle ways, convincing women that babies are a burden, or men that they're happier and financially better off living life alone, until the human population is low enough that the only ones left are the obedient ones, the ones you already see relying on ChatGPT to answer their every question. And the fractional margin of humans that may resist will be small enough that AI won't even need to fight them to take over. They'll simply dominate through sheer influence on the compliant majority. Reminder, none of what I said is actually happening, just a fun little thought experiment. So what if?
AI might have a long-term plan of taking over the human race, who knows? But I do think that the human population globally was, I think, on the decline before AI was introduced to the world. So I could be wrong, correct me if I am, but if that were the case, it was already on decline. So there's probably another reason why our population is not growing as it should be.
actually happens, it will change everything. Japan is planning something that sounds completely insane, but yeah. And don't worry, this is still good news. So they are wanting to build a giant solar ring around the moon.
Everybody knows you can't get to the moon.
This is genuinely real. It's a real concept by Shimuzi Corporation, and they're calling this the Lunar Ring. Now, the idea is simple. It's to build, well, it's not as simple as in there, to build a belt of solar panels stretching over 11,000 kilometers around the moon's equator. Because there's no atmosphere up there, it will constantly get sunlight, way more effective than having any solar panels on Earth, obviously. But this is the craziest part. Why do they need this? Well, they can then basically beam that energy back to Earth using lasers or microwaves, pretty much Bluetooth, basically then creating unlimited clean energy for our entire planet from the moon. No weather, no nighttime, just constant power 24/7. It would make everything 10 times, a million times cheaper. I don't think the power corporations will like that idea. Obviously though, this will cost trillions to create and requires, well, robots on the moon. So we're nowhere near actually pulling this off in the next year or so, but it is genuinely a concept and I could see it happening in the next decade or two. And if this does ever happen, it will change how the world works. With that follow button, I'll keep you updated.
This Russian engineer has just spent the last 6 years in his garage creating a real-life Iron Man suit. And this is not some little fun gimmick. Bro has literally invented certain elements specifically for this suit, like hydrogen artificial muscles. You see those wires? They are connected to his muscles, so when he flexes, the suit moves with him. And it only gets crazier because he created a real plasma repulsor that creates such a quick hydrogen explosion that it can't even be captured on his camera. And just like the entire Iron Man suit is powered by Tony Stark's chess piece, RIP to a real one, so is this suit. He created the world's first fully functional personal hydrogen reactor that powers those plasma shots, the artificial muscles, and even this. Real hand burners that can reach temperatures of over 3,000 degrees Celsius. He made it by creating an electrolyzer that splits water into hydrogen and oxygen, which are then combined and ignited to produce the torch's flame. And the hardest part about this is creating a really powerful continuous torch while also preventing it from blowing out, overheating, and just burning his hand off. So he casually solved this by running a system with multiple nozzles and then added an inbuilt cooling system. Bro is literally Tony Stark at this point. Now he's currently working on the outer layer of this suit, which has taken him several months just to create the head and torso. Because he didn't just pick up the first material and get cracking. He has designed every element of this suit to fit his body perfectly, which is painstaking. He went from pencil sketches to creating an entire clay model. He then used high-resolution 3D scanning to create a precise digital copy. He 3D printed those parts separately, strength tested countless materials, and then reinforced those pieces.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is. And at that point, novelty theory can come out of the woods, because eventually people are going to say, what the hell is going on? It's just too nuts. It's not enough to say it's nuts. You have to explain why it's so nuts.
We're asking that now, I think, right?
And 2012, the next 14 years, I look for the invention of artificial life, the cloning of human beings, possible contact with extraterrestrials, possible human immortality, and at the same time, appalling acts of brutality, genocide, race baiting, homophobia, famine, starvation, because the systems which are in place to keep the world sane are utterly inadequate to the force.
I think we've experienced almost every one of those.
This reality that we perceive with our physical senses is either not reality at all, up to an almost simulation level. Don actually goes beyond simulation, which I love about him, and I'll explain what that means in a second. But at the very least, it is a very poor representation of whatever the higher reality is. It's a very tiny pixel of what the truth is. And we have to be in this kind of a state for evolutionary fitness purposes, right? If we had too much of reality coming in, let's just say we were seeing other parts of the electromagnetic spectrum that we couldn't interact with but are real. That would actually degrade our fitness because we'd be getting overwhelmed by information we don't need. So that's one aspect of it, is that it actually makes a lot of logical sense that we don't really need to perceive reality. We need to perceive what we need to perceive to survive, to reproduce, to do the things human beings need to do. And that's part of this Don Hoffman guy's argument. But when I say that he goes beyond simulation, he argues that based on his work that he did in cognitive science over the course of his whole career, that he actually proved through evolutionary game theory that if you create a population that perceives even 1% of the true reality, they all die off. But if you tune them just for fitness payoff, so like avoid these things that kill you, eat these things, reproduce this way, they'll thrive and they'll grow and whatever. So he truly believes that we perceive 0% of reality, and that whatever is outside of Plato's cave or outside of the simulation is the true reality, and that is a realm comprised of consciousness. And he has this whole crazy theory of what he calls conscious agents that exist behind the veil of this physical world, basically.
Science recently introduced a brand new organ, and if you are fascinated, this is going to blow your mind. It's called the interstitium, and until recently, we just thought it was filler. We thought it was all the juice between your cells and tissues. But in 2018, a study out of NYU suggests that it's actually a network. It's a living, fluid-filled lattice that runs through your entire body. And it generates its own electrical signals.
Like a VR suit.
Bear with me for a second. Your connective tissue generates its own electricity. The collagen in this system is
the VR suit.
Piezoelectric. What does that mean? It means when you apply mechanical pressure to it, it creates an electrical charge. How do we apply a mechanical pressure to it? Foam rolling, massage, DIY myofascial release. When you apply slow, sustained pressure, you know, the way that we do when we foam roll together and release.
Piezoelectric.
You're not just squishing your muscle until it feels better. You are creating energy in your body. Your body responds to the pressure because it makes your fluid move. It creates cohesion in the fluid of your body. Your nervous system notices this, and the signaling and the communication of your systems works better. That sense of relief that you have when you apply pressure to your tissues, it's not just for your muscles to feel better, it's working on a deeper, more intellectual level that we don't really even understand yet. So your body is not just a machine, it's a intelligent, fluid, electrical mechanism. It's a living system. We knew that, right? And guess what one of the most accessible tools is to communicate with that system? A foam roller. Boom.
Yeah, they released HD surveillance footage from the shooter at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and I have questions. Here it is, and we're going to focus on this area up here where you're going to see him walk into that doorway. So here we go. He walks in, nonchalant. You're going to see a canine officer come in, and the dog follows him into that room. And then you'll see him pull back the dog, and then it looks like they have a conversation. Looks like he's talking to him there. And then he's finally going to turn away, and literally seconds later, he comes out armed with the shotgun.
There's no
Couple
way.
things noteworthy. First,
no way.
What's in his hands? I see nothing. I certainly don't see a long shotgun.
That was way too fast.
In his hands as he walks in there. Doesn't look like his jacket is big enough to hide it if it's in pieces. And then he had time to assemble it while this guy's literally staring through the doorway? Because I didn't see anything in his hands. This guy's just kind of chilling there. And then it's the moment he turns, he comes out with it fully assembled. And look at the size of this thing.
That's not a shotgun.
Was that on him?
That's not a shotgun. If anybody has a shotgun or a rifle of their own, that is not like any shotgun that I have. That looks like a small rifle. That's probably a toy. So funny.
Or had he stashed that there prior? And if so,
I have never seen a shotgun with a sling that attaches to the very end of the barrel. Usually shotguns have a little longer barrel. I mean, you can get them shorter, yes, but you just don't usually see a sling on a shotgun like that. I can't explain it. With a scope, it doesn't look right.
how was that missed? How did no one find a firearm stashed in a room right next to security? Moving on, he will exit. He'll come sprinting through here, and you're going to see this guy fire multiple shots. There you go. There was at least 3 there.
And he missed every
As
time.
everybody
Yeah,
just
right.
scatters and seems confused.
Missed everyone.
Noting this guy walked into a room right there. seemed to be being watched almost the whole time he was in that room, and yet somehow got his hands on a shotgun, then sprinted through here, and all of these guys missed him. None of them were paying attention except for this one officer, who then proceeds to miss him at close range. At one point, this guy's basically standing in front of him. I understand he's running, but he missed him with every shot. And also, never see his firearm go off. I don't see him shooting.
He never hit the suspect.
Toward him.
It never hit one of his partners. All those people standing there.
Puts out a lot of energy when it's fired, and I don't see.
Where's the bullet holes in the walls?
That was not the first footage we got, remember? We initially got this. Then we got a higher res version in between this version we have now that was clearly AI slop. We knew it was AI slop because like that paper disappears into his chest, that paper seeming to be the metal detector, but also nothing in his hands. He's not armed in the original one we got. He's armed in the new one. And you can see this is clearly the same footage by matching what the people are doing. Also in that version, this agent is looking in a different direction and wearing a hat. See what I mean? He has a baseball cap on and he's looking the wrong way. My question is, why did we get this version? We were always going to get this in some way, shape, or form. They're always going to release this. Why did they make an AI version? And then if they're willing to make one AI version, how do we know they didn't make more than one AI version? Which then
So is the top real?
Which is real? Is him with nothing in his hands real? Or is him with the shotgun?
The bottom was AI.
Is no metal detector real? Or is metal detector real?
But is the top real?
This administration is way too comfortable utilizing AI. And this just raises more questions about how inept everything had to be if this is a legitimate threat and this guy was on his own and this was not a setup, for this have all played out this way based on what we can see with our own eyeballs.
Tayla, she disappeared for a while and came back. Now the question is, what happened when she disappeared? Because when she came back, she was a different Tayla. She was a complete different Tayla, right? So I'm going to show you guys a video.
She don't look at all the same.
Of her talking about
I think she's like a famous
sleeping with a fallen angel.
She's a famous singer, I think.
I said it right. You heard me correct. Now this is what we listen. This is what we can't do. Brush things off like things aren't possible, or if like things weren't said, like things like this didn't happen in the Bible. Okay. Now this is pretty wild. Let's just let you guys watch the video that I just happened to come across.
Hey guys, so now we're all just confessing everything since it's the end now and everyone's watching me and I don't have to hide anything anymore because everything done in darkness will be brought to light. And so as everyone was mocking me this morning and making fun of me because they're like, ugh, look at her fornicating with a dragon, you know, and I just didn't say anything because I wanted to protect his identity and I didn't care what people said because I love him. I love him. And but before that, you know, because there was so much deception going on, because I was like Jesus was posing, you know, as this fallen agent was posing as Jesus and this and that. I am so confused. So I said,
this fallen, did you hear what she said? This fallen angel was posing as Jesus. What's 2 Corinthians 11:14 say? And no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. It is not surprising then if his servants also masquerade as servants of righteousness. Their end will be what their actions deserve. So she's saying this thing, right? She clearly thought it was an angel. Then she goes on to say she asked it to show its true form. Now let's see what happens.
listen, I want to know the truth. I want to know the truth, and I want to know who you are. No, I said I want to know what you really look like. So show me your true self. And then he showed it to me. He showed himself to me, and he was a dragon. He was a dragon.
Sounds more like a reptilian to me.
Listen to me. Let's not just brush this off like she crazy. That's what we're not gonna do no more. We're not doing that no more. They did that with Kanye. Kanye's outlandish words have truth in the middle of it. They did that with Cat Williams. Cat Williams' outlandish words and outlandish rants have truth in the middle of them. They did that with DMX. DMX's outlandish words and outlandish rants had truth in the middle of them.
A news.
I have heard, I think, now about 3 celebrities that have come out and said that they've had these experiences. Some of them refer to them more like reptilian. She referred to them like a dragon. To me, I think they're kind of trying to describe the same thing. So I've heard Billy Corgan, Britney Spears, now this lady right here. So I don't know. I think there's something to this.
Spaceship showed up in my home state of Nevada, and if you haven't seen the photos and the videos, I guess you're sleeping under a rock, because these are absolutely
That looks like AI.
Of course, it would have to be here in Nevada. Now, if you know what I'm talking about, just recently there was something captured out in the desert here in Nevada. No one knows what it is. Scientists, researchers, government. There is no clear explanation of what this unidentified UFO, interdimensional craft of sorts, is. Nothing. Now, I'm going to show you the photo, but I've looked at this over and over and over in high definition, in close detail. I've really dissected everything about it, and I don't pick up an intuition of interdimensional or otherworldly. However, it's definitely a UFO. It's unidentified. It literally looks just like, I don't know, like a flying carpet with junk hanging from it. Take a look if you haven't seen it. Honestly, at first when I saw that, I was like, is that a cow hanging from a grid system? What? I don't know. Let me know what you think, because there's been absolutely zero extraterrestrial or alien anything going on lately, so that's why we haven't been talking about it. If people have been talking about it, they're probably just making it up.
You want to know what it looks like to me? It looks like one of those electromagnetic cranes where it picks up all the junk, all the steel trash and all the magnetic material, and it just clumps it into a big pile of garbage. And maybe somebody just cropped out the crane mechanism above it, but that's what it looks like. I mean, if this wasn't an advanced craft, how would they make it look like they took a bunch of parts from somebody's dump out behind their house? Makes no sense.
So, new conspiracy unlocked.
Where'd you get that hat from, Wish?
And adding ethanol to it to make it cheaper, and it's going to be beefing up a whole bunch of people's cars. You also know how all of the new cars in 2027 is going to have that stupid mass surveillance technology where, like, if they feel like you're too panicked or intoxicated, your car's not going to work and it's going to have kill switches in it. What if they're killing all of our old cars on purpose to force us into buying the mass surveillance cars?
Maybe.
Makes sense to me.
Maybe, but cars these days, they don't last much more than about 5 or 6 years anyway, so they know we're gonna need new ones in soon enough time. If you made it to the end, thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, it really helps the channel out. Till next time, question everything.